Okay, we're good.
Okay, perfect. So this week we don't have to introduce ourselves because we did that last week. And then this week I have to head to class. So if we want to keep it closer to 45 minutes instead of 60, that might be good.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing we're supposed to do is review the PowerPoint presentation to learn about applying the health model belief. So we kind of just talk about a couple things on the health model belief. So if everybody wants to pull up that PowerPoint, they can do that. Or just their notes too, I'm sure that works.
Mine doesn't pull up on this browser that I'm on, so I'll just use my notes.
Okay, I think I'll do that too. Mine isn't pulling up either on this browser, but I remember the... So summarize how the health belief model works.
Yeah, mine's not pulling up either, so I'm going to pull up my notes.
Okay.
I have the factors like perceived accessibility, perceived seriousness, the benefits and the barriers, and self-efficacy, and then the cues to action. Those are the main components of that that leads to behaviors.
Yes. And then it said they added self-efficacy at the end too. I thought it was kind of interesting just in hearing how much we actually do it. I'm like, oh, that's totally me. Like, I totally do something because I believe I'll get something from it, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, and I, reading through it, I thought about the vaccinations, how because of the seriousness, people don't think it's that serious. They don't see the people dying, I guess, and so that really depends on their fear if they're going to get, a certain disease or.
Yeah. That's like
right. You almost have to.
Oh, go for it,
You almost have to scare people into doing something. It's kind of sad, but I guess that's why they do all the. Like when I went to Jamaica on our honeymoon, in the airport, there was like they have cigarettes just sitting out in the open, like they're not behind a locked case, but the labels on the cigarettes are like half the box, and it says like if you smoke these, you will die. Like they're not like you might get cancer. They're like really scary warning labels. So.
Funny. That's like I'm in an environmental health class right now, and where I'm pregnant, and you talk about all these toxins and carcinogens and all these like teratogens. I'm like worried about everything. So I'm like, if I wasn't in that class, I don't think, or if I wasn't pregnant, obviously I wouldn't even. It would just be like, oh, whatever.
I took that class while I was pregnant too, and I was scared every day.
I work at this place where I package shoes from China. There's kind of a funky smell from the glue. And so lately I've been like, oh my gosh, I'm doing
to wear a mask.
I think he's getting something horrible from those, and I gotta figure it out. But
it makes you more aware.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
More aware and more scared. So that's great. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I feel like that kind of covers it. So discuss the process and how they relate to the strategies of the model.
Oh.
So I feel like we kind of just talked about that, but I think it's interesting how I feel like a lot of times in these classes they can break something up so much. Like beforehand, before reading this in depth about it, I would have been like, oh yeah, people do things because they think they're going to benefit from them. But then it's interesting how they break it up into like so many specific, if they feel this way or if they feel that way, or I don't know, that was one thing I thought was interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
the benefits and barriers, they kind of correlate a lot. I think they do anyway.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was interesting too. We could talk about the history of it. How like nobody showed up for the TB van that they sent around, the TB testing.
Oh yeah.
And so that's kind of how the plan started, was they realized people didn't care unless they felt they were.
Felt threatened, yeah. Susceptible to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the third question is, what kind of interventions centered on the processes move people through the stages?
I wasn't sure if this is like specific things that we were supposed to do, like teach them some knowledge, or if we were supposed to apply the model.
Yeah, I kind of had that same thought. I was like, is this more of like, because this model is almost focusing, I feel like, more on scare tactic or getting the information out there, not necessarily the end part of programs. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as, I mean, this model, the HBM, I think it focuses a lot on just getting the knowledge out there. So having seminars or
Mm-hmm.
flyers or um, advertisements,
Yeah.
and just making people aware.
Yeah.
Really is.
Like I thought a good example would be the Project Meth. I don't know, is it statewide or is it just in Idaho? But
I've never heard of it, so maybe.
yeah, and it's very like gruesome. Like they definitely use the scare tactic. Like they show the very worst cases of meth and like pictures and videos from it. And it's just commercials and billboards and just things like that, just to scare people. Like this is what happens if you kind of like this if you take meth. So that was one I thought of.
When I was in high school, we had a guy in Minnesota come that had blown his face off because he was using meth, but he didn't die. So his face was just one big piece of scar tissue pretty much. And he was just like, he told us about meth and showed all the pictures after he had his surgeries and stuff, just kind of scare us straight. And that was like a statewide motivational speaker.
Yeah. I remember they did it in driver's ed too.
Oh, yeah.
With trains. They showed like these gruesome videos of trains. But like the point was just never park on the rails or like at a stoplight on the rails. It worked. Yeah. Like to this day I'm like, stay away from the train. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of interesting how the scare tactic works. But,
yeah, it does.
Okay, so now we're going to discuss the case study from this week. So in case you don't remember, it's about the tattoos, how a lot of people are getting tattoos, but they don't know, I guess, the bad consequences that can come from it. So it says, underage youth get tattoos either to rebel against parents or to be accepted by peers. As a health educator, you have to put aside your own personal feelings about the circumstance in order to work with the target population. And then, so we're supposed to read and discuss this following quote. It says, peer and parent influences compete and often conflict. As youth approach early adulthood, they decide upon ways they wish to present themselves to others and count the cost of doing so by gauging the reactions they get. Attendance to this process as psychological risk and rewards. For example, the choice between acceptance by peers and rejection of parents and other authority figures factors into the general decision-making process for behavior in general. We imagine this to be more consequential when individuals contemplate getting something as permanent as a tattoo. So basically from that, we're just supposed to discuss the behavior behind tattooing.
Well, I think it's just a social norm. It's for teenagers, that's kind of the cool thing. So I guess it really depends on your social network. Some groups wouldn't be so accepting of it, but other groups are,
yeah,
really accepting of it.
I feel like especially where we have the Mormon perspective, it's like, oh, they're rebellious. But yeah, in a lot of other circumstances or like social circles where it's just normal. Not saying they might not feel like pressured to do it or have a little bit of rebellion, but it's just what you do. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I'm a convert, so like my family, I'm the only member in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So like my parents, they're like my mom's a nurse and my dad was in the military, so it's not like they were like weird, like not normal people, I guess. But my dad has tattoos and my brothers do, and my brother's a petroleum engineer and the other's a college professor. So like in that world, if you're not a member, it's like almost normal.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
even it's not necessarily rebellious anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on the environment, whatever
Mhm.
environment I think we live, or yeah, culture. Culture, I know, there's some cultures in the Polynesians where they tattoo, all over their body. It's just part
Mhm.
of their heritage culture.
There's a lot of Polynesian members that will still get their tattoos because it's so much more cultural and like ancestral for them. Like I don't know. I think that has something to do with like just their way of life. I don't know what the tattoos mean, but on the flip side, my cousin's wife, well, my husband's cousin's wife, her and her brothers, they're all like members. One just barely got back from a mission, but they all just barely got matching little tattoos, kind of to stick it to their parents. So I was like, well, you're rebellious. Like, I hope your son isn't like that, and then you're gonna have to deal with that because it was just funny. It was so random, but so yeah, it really just depends on the environment because you can get bits from everything in every environment.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Any other thoughts on tattooing? I think I didn't even know when it mentioned it was like people don't know the health effects that can come from tattoos. I was like, are there bad health effects?
I think what they're talking about in that is kids going and getting tattoos from like strangers, or not necessarily strangers, but like some
Not
random friend in their living room,
yeah.
like someone that's
Yeah,
not
they're not.
licensed or knows what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say for the most part, I was like, I feel like if it was like this big like problem we were having, you'd hear more about it. But I
Yeah.
figured it was probably just more like cleanliness in where you're getting it and sterilization
Yeah.
and stuff. Sweet. So the next part of our assignment, we are supposed to go over the application assignment together. We'll submit it each separately. But this way we can kind of just talk about it and get ideas. So, does everybody have that open?
Yeah, I opened mine.
Mine's up.
Okay. So, as we go through it, we're just going to follow the steps of the health behavior model and keep in mind the tattooing that we've talked about. So, this might be redundant from what we talked about earlier, but give an overview of the model and a brief explanation of the constructs. So,
I put that the model focuses on why people take action. For a behavior to change, people must feel threatened. And the key elements, then the key elements are perceived accessibility, perceived seriousness, all those. That's what I came up with.
Yeah. Usually on these questions, I just copy and paste my notes because that's what I've taken on. Anything to add to that, Jacqueline?
No, you guys said what I would have.
Yeah.
I would have.
I think too, with the people need to feel threatened, just like an awareness of it's just interesting when you go to a class or something and learn about how a mole can become cancer or something. Even, I guess threatened is the right word, because all of a sudden you realize there's a possibility it's happening to you. And then
Yeah, I said they have to be scared straight.
oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So question number 2 says health belief model application. Complete the table below. So for each of the constructs, we have to go over an intervention, a description, and an expected impact. So, and everybody has this open. So if everybody wants to read over what those are real fast, so we get an idea, that'd be good.
So we have to put in, identify the target population you're working with. So like teenagers who tattoo, or
Yeah.
teenagers, I guess.
Yeah. Adolescents or teenagers at risk of tattooing. Okay. So in the intervention boxes, we'll go over what individual intervention or interventions are you developing to apply construct. So
I was
oh, sorry.
So like we're supposed to go through the little link that he had, and so there's the 8 different models. What he's asking, when there's a little link with the application, and did you guys look at that?
Yeah, I forgot to pull that up. Let me pull it up.
Because he said there were 8, so then I'm like, well, is that when we use, because it says it has the health belief model, but it also has self-efficacy, theory of reasoned action. It has all those different theories and models, so I wasn't sure if that was the type of intervention, or are we supposed to be a little more specific?
I think we're supposed to be more specific and just use that as a outline. Let's see. Apply the principles. Huh. I don't know, because I don't know how we would apply that as specifically, you know?
Oh, maybe it is. More detailed, but it says from the 8 different. It says from the 8 different types. That's why I was a little confused.
Oh yeah.
Like it said, perceived. The first one, perceived susceptibility. So, I mean, we could do a seminar or something like that. Is that, are they wanting like that? But then it says at the top from the 8 different types. So I wasn't sure.
Maybe we could do, let's see, a little bit of both. We could talk about seminar, and then we could guess what theory or model that would be from. Like
okay,
a communication model.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
So, in susceptibility, we could do a communication model, and then, like you said, having seminars or
Okay, yeah.
almost like what we were saying with the MES program, but just like flooding of information.
Okay, so communication model, and then have a seminar.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that would be for both perceived severity too, wouldn't it?
A lot of them I feel like are so similar that we probably are going to intertwine a lot.
I agree.
sorry, on the second one, communication. Okay, so the perceived benefits, these are the beliefs that you'll actually have benefits, right? Pretty straightforward.
Okay, did you guys fill out in the description and expected impact?
Oh no, I was going straight down, but we should go across like that. That's a better idea. So the description explains specifically what our intervention is going to do.
It'll create knowledge and awareness.
Yeah.
The dangers of tattooing.
So like a tattoo, who did I hear this from? Like when you're buying it, like they tell you to, you're like debating it, like go for 2 days, and if you still have to have it, then go buy it. I've heard with tattoos, it's like, okay, if you really want one, like first of all, whatever image you're gonna do, like paint it on your wall or put it somewhere where you're gonna see it everywhere. I've heard people say this, everywhere for like X amount of months or like up to a year even, and then if you still like being everything, like there are a lot of people that do get it young and aren't gonna care about it.
Yeah, that's smart.
What do you expect to happen as a result of using this construct with the intervention of your target population? Maybe
Kids are more aware.
Like decision weighing before they just jump on the bandwagon and get a tattoo.
Yeah, I think they'll think more about their decision.
They're getting it because they want it, not because their friends think it's cool or they want to rebel against their parents. Not that it makes it any better, but
It'd be more educated, a more educated decision.
Like it's gonna be all the same things for the next one. So for perceived severity, that again, the communication model is probably what to use. And again, you could do seminars or commercials and programs that just let people know. I guess for this one, you'd have to show the cases where the worst things did happen with the tattoo. Just to show how severe it could be if they go about it the wrong way. But and then the description, I feel like it's basically the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Knowledge and awareness. So the expected impact from this, what do you guys think on that?
I think it's kind of the same thing as the first one. They just would be a better educated decision.
Yeah. I feel like for some reason, the severity is a teeny bit more scary than the susceptibility.
Yeah, I agree.
Angle they take at it, so maybe this would even result in a little bit of a lower percentage of people that get tattoos just because I feel like they up it a notch on the scare factor on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so for perceived benefits, let's see. Alright, so the model. See, and it's confusing too on this thing he gave us because the health belief model is one of the theories.
Yeah, and that's the one that we focused on and studied. So.
Yeah. But that's okay. We'll just keep going with it and we'll see. So for this one, let's see what something could do. I don't know, maybe something like, this is not related to tattooing, but would a program fall under this where, I don't know, they like give out condoms for people that are having unprotected sex? Just to show them.
Planned Parenthood does that.
Who does that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it sounded like it cut out. I think Planned Parenthood does that.
What do they give out, like, sex protection?
Yeah.
Show the benefits of, obviously, not really abstinence, but of having protected sex rather than unprotected sex.
Yeah. Heavy. Sorry, my child is nuts today.
Idea, or does that even fall under benefits, do you feel like?
Well, aren't we supposed to direct it towards the tattooing?
Yeah, that was just an example.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Get our minds going.
Okay. Are we benefiting? Is this perceived benefits as if they get the tattoos? What kind of benefits do they get because of the tattoos that they have?
Wait.
I'm gonna read it again.
Like social acceptance or.
So I have the definition from the textbook right here. Individuals exhibiting optimal beliefs in susceptibility and severity are not expected to accept any recommended health action unless they also perceive the action as potentially beneficial by reducing the threat. So the benefit of not getting it has to outweigh the benefit of getting it, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
More stuff too.
Well, the benefit is that you don't have to remove it.
Yeah. Yeah, they could go through the process to remove a tattoo and how.
Yeah. Maybe you can we can focus on how hard it is to get it removed.
My aunt had got a tattoo and she was just trying to be rebellious and it got infected. And so now it's still on her leg. She hasn't gotten it removed, but it's all weird looking. And so that, like, pictures of that showing, like, how it doesn't look cool.
Yeah. I guess you could, I like the, so for mine I wrote focus on how hard it is to remove a tattoo and the possibilities of infection. But you could also even maybe show tattoos on elderly people. But you know how, like, they're super faded and they're wrinkly now, and it's almost not the image they once even put on there. So just maybe letting them know the benefit is that you don't have to deal with these things down the road. And I don't know if it's like the lesser of two evils, but you could always talk about, they have like temporary tattoos, not like the cereal box ones, but like airbrush ones that last for months but don't last forever. Or like henna tattoos that they could do over again, things like that, that if you want one now, maybe go with something that's less long-term. Because there's a lot of bad things that can come with the long-term ones. So,
yeah.
Do we need to pick a model?
I'm trying to think on this one. Because it's just weird where health belief model is one of them. I feel like that's the one we're studying.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Maybe theory of reasoned action.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. Okay, so what we hope to have come from this, maybe, I feel like I could copy and paste the same sentence for every single one of them.
Maybe just understand the difficulty of removal.
Mm-hmm.
Or what it looks like when it's infected, because it's not like normal skin when it gets infected and it looks normal after. It distorts the image.
So our expected impact from this, again, would probably be that they would weigh out their decision more, maybe go with different alternatives, things like that.
Ken, do you want to bring him to me when you get a second?
You say go with different alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So perceived barriers.
He's making a lot of noise, but I think he's just a chatterbox like his mom. He's happy still.
Mad at his toys.
Remember, he's smiling.
He was yelling at him.
So on this one now, we're basically doing the exact opposite. So on my notes on barriers, I had it's a cost-benefit analysis for the person. Like in the beginning, they said, this could help me, but it may hurt, cost money, or take time. So,
Why?
I don't know. I guess on this one, I don't understand it as well either.
I don't understand that one as well either. It seems a lot like the one we just did.
Yeah, I think they kind of relate sometimes.
Yeah.
See if I can.
I feel like this one was more so focusing on the barriers that they face. And
To not get one, the barrier.
The barriers they face in changing from their current behavior.
Oh, well, don't you think one of the perceived barriers would be social acceptance?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think
So,
that's
Culture.
So an intervention would be maybe to try and change the attitude.
yeah. So do that through
maybe, if you can, I know like in LDS culture, it's, my body is a temple, you want to treat it, as such, and cleanliness. So if some way you can portray that, I'm not sure.
I get what you're saying though. Maybe like maybe we could almost put that in though. Help people focus how special their body is. It's not something you can. I don't know, a tattoo's pretty hard to reverse.
You know how they have I think it's the Dove, is it Dove? Commercial, where because everybody, they focus on the beauty of everyone, that everybody, they're different sizes. Um, maybe somehow focus on the beauty of natural skin, something.
Yeah. And I guess you'd even take to the extent, maybe not even natural skin, if we're just focusing on social acceptance, but on like people the way they are. Like if you choose not to have a tattoo, it doesn't mean you're any less daring or any less cool. It's
Love yourself.
yeah.
Because a lot of people try to hide behind tattoos also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It helps
a
them
very good
helps
point,
them feel better about themselves.
And I've also heard that, like, once you have a tattoo, it's almost like an addiction. Like, once you get one, people just want to keep getting more and more, and I think that's part of the hiding behind it. Like, people focus on that and not on you.
I think that's a good point. So I think we should, maybe doing an intervention that focuses on, like you said, the beauty of natural skin. And then that would help people. In the description, we could talk about let's see. Like the description and the expected impact are a lot of times the same, but just almost creating a feeling of like, okay, I don't need a tattoo to be seen as this. I can just
Create a feeling of acceptance.
Yeah.
Create a feeling.
And then the expected impact on this is, hopefully people would become less judgmental. Those people who don't have tattoos. That people don't have that pressure when making the decision.
And just love themselves, not get that tattoo to make them feel better.
Yeah, I like what you said, Jacqueline, about how lots of people hide behind their tattoos. I think that's true. Okay. So cues to action. So just strategies to achieve readiness. That's what I have in my notes.
Do we need a theory or a model for that perceived behavior?
Oh yeah, I went ahead and did that. I put social norms theory.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Do you guys think that one would work? We're working with social norms?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Where are you going?
All right, cues to action.
Yeah. So,
well, a lot of people use the words for tattoo as cool or I don't know. There's a lot of positive type words that I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, I guess, what they're wanting as far as an intervention for cues to action. Just use your words differently. Cues to action.
Don't kick that, honey.
So maybe this one could be more of like a how to respond to the peer pressure you feel. I might be going the wrong way with this, but like this is going to give them cues to action and how to respond to the hard things that might come against, or that might be factors that are causing you to want to get a tattoo.
Oh, so maybe focus on what they can say,
Yeah.
or situations like a role play.
Yeah.
Do
Maybe you could
like a
do
role
something like that, like these situations are going to happen. It's normal to feel like this, but instead of feeling like that, yeah, role play. Like, how can you
Okay.
be ready to not feel bad about not having a tattoo, basically. So an intervention to people
Happy.
or pressures that might come their way. That
So
would
when others put pressure on.
And then for that one, I feel like that one's kind of a social norms theory again.
That's what too.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Okay, so our description on that one is just, I guess you would be creating awareness and readiness.
Being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Be prepared for situations.
Mm-hmm. And then let's see, the last one. So our expected impact would just be that then when these teenagers are put in these situations, they don't jump the gun. They know how to so when teenagers do have these
jump into a decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then self-efficacy. So self-efficacy, is like the confidence in your ability to take action. So maybe just some type of intervention that builds their confidence in decision making.
I think information helps a lot. Like if they're informed, I think people have a, like if you're feeling you're not quite sure about something, you're more apt to do it. But if you have a lot of knowledge, then you're more apt to be firm on something. You can't be talked into it.
Yeah.
You feel more confident, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe again on this one we could almost do a communicate, or maybe not communication. Let me see.
What about the social cognitive theory?
We could do that. I can't remember that one very well. Do you remember it?
I just know it's self-efficacy or social cognitive, so
The social cognitive theory, is that one that you were talking about?
yeah. What are you doing?
Okay.
You're difficult today.
So, and then the description and expected impact on that, we could just do kind of what you're saying, that information leads to confidence in your firmness in your decisions. And so, just hopefully the expected impact would be the more informed you are, the less likely you are to just waver on like your decisions. Someone would probably stay firm to the decision. They don't want a tattoo for these reasons. Any other thoughts on the
So
table?
the description is to create like confidence and a belief in themselves and their choices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What did we put for cues for action intervention?
You were talking about doing an intervention that would like prep people for the pressure that's on their way.
Okay.
Social norm theory. Okay. So, and then, sorry, I have to head to class in 2 seconds. So let's skip down to the last 2 questions. We'll just mention them. I think they're both ones we kind of do on our own. But what are the limitations with the models itself? And you're using it with specific health issues in target population. I think.
I pulled down. One from our notes was that doesn't consider emotional aspects like fear. And then sometimes the cues to action can be missing or overlooked. I didn't think of anything else.
I thought of was I feel like this. While most of our decisions are based on like our feelings, a lot of like the behavior that we have is just because of the environment we've grown up in.
Yeah.
Like there are certain things that I do. It's not like I necessarily think about them or anything. It's just that's the way it is, you know. And so I think it leaves out a little bit of the environmental factors. Just because it puts like every decision is coming from a belief that you have. Sure, in a lot of
That
cases.
reminds me of like some families will put ketchup and mustard in the fridge, but it doesn't have to be refrigerated. But if you grew up doing that, you're going to do it the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you didn't have to do it, but they're in my fridge.
Me too.
Okay, and then so for the reflection, and that one you'll go in bullet form. But I feel like we could each just expand on those personally, probably. And then for your reflection, your thoughts on using this model for behavior change without the health issue. So and that one should be in paragraph form.
For your thoughts on using this model for behavior change. Well, I think it's a good thing to look at. I do think that fear factor does play a big part in our decision making. So, in any health issue, I think if we're scared about something, we're going to make a change.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think like in number 3, how we talked about the limitations. Those are good limitations, but like you said, it's really a good thing to look at because so much of our decisions are based on like underlying beliefs that we don't really even recognize that we have. Or so it's important, I feel like, to take that into aspect of our models. Anything else?
That's good. I think that's great. We'll stop this. And hopefully this will work this next time. So